Maria.
Hi everyone. So today our presentation will be on managing emotions. So part of managing emotions is positive psychology. Positive psychology analyzes how individuals can flourish. We first look at the concept of negative emotions and how it can have power over an individual's positive emotions. We question why negative emotions have such a great impact. We also look at psychology of positive emotions in relation to the broaden and build theory, the four survival advantages, and we discuss the research that supports this hypothesis. Now moving on to Lauren.
Thank you, Maria. So I'll begin about speaking about negative emotions. So humans have a natural tendency to steer towards the negative due to the primal Stone Age times where our ancestors adopted the flight or fight ideology. Survival of the fittest was a crucial mindset to adopt, which forced humans to engage in predatory like behaviours in order to avoid becoming the weak, vulnerable prey, which was inevitably lead to your death and extinction. Negative emotions are easily identifiable, whether this be sad, fearful, angry. There is a profound difference in a person's expression with the negative emotions, whereas positive emotions tends to adopt the same dish and smile when feeling happy, excited, or joyous. So, the steer towards the negative is prevalent in organisational settings. This is through employees more likely to be criticised on the negative aspects of their work rather than being praised for their positive contribution. So, constant pressures to achieve organisational goals through KPIs and other appraisals highlight the managers persistently looking at new ways for individual development, which has this underlying message that we're always not good enough. So we should instead focus on alleviating employees through drawing on their strengths and positive contributions to the team. And what is the effect of this? Well, decreased motivation as they feel undervalued, loss of loyalty to the organisation, increased absenteeism, and strain on the mental health. The flight or fight syndrome speeds up our heart rate, increases our stress levels, and negatively impacts our overall cardiovascular health. Instead, we should aim to create normality and relaxation through the rest and digest ideology, which allows individuals to make rational and informed decisions as a result of an unperturbed mental state. Ultimately, negative emotions can create closed minded provincial ideologies, which can essentially be undone by fostering positive emotions that can counteract these negative mindsets. Positive emotions broaden our negative mindsets, essentially undoing the lingering effect of negative emotions.
Positive thinking and pleasant feelings are a universal part of human nature that enables individuals to broaden their cognitive thinking and be more resilient when faced with challenging issues. Whilst negative emotions are understood to be part of our evolutionary adaptation to life-threatening situations, positive emotions help to enable problem solving related to personal growth and development. Resilience, creativity, and a broadened pattern of thinking are different skills that have been seen to be gained through a positive mindset. A study conducted by Eisen and colleagues demonstrates how individuals with positive emotions can be helpful to others. The study found that those who are helpful are more likely to feel proud of their actions and good deeds, which in turn is more likely to result in a continuous feeling of good. As well as that, those on the receiving end of the helpful actions will also feel good and feel elevated. Some emotions felt whilst performing good deeds include gratitude, elevation, and pride, which can broaden people's mindsets. These feelings and positive emotions can trigger close communities, whether it be a school, religious, or family community, to be in a more harmonious mood and feeling.
Broaden and build theory was originally developed by Barbara Fredrickson in 1998, and it suggests that one's momentary mindset can be broadened and enhanced by positive emotions, which consequently assists an individual to build consistent personal resources. Furthermore, those experiencing positive emotions have a tendency to be more creative, flexible, and open-minded. The broaden and build theory also suggests that by experiencing positive emotions, our ancestors would have naturally occurred more personal resources, whether they be intellectual, physical, social, or physiological. And when later faced with threats to life, these greater resources translated into greater odds of survival and greater odds of living long enough to reproduce. But how exactly do these personal resources help you? Intellectual resources can help you by developing problem-solving skills and helping you learn new information. Physical resources can help you develop coordination and develop strength and cardiovascular health. Social resources can help you make new connections and solidify those new connections to form bonds. And physiological resources can help develop resilience and optimism and develop a sense of identity and goal orientation.
Continuing on the broaden and build theory, in the reading there were multiple research mentioned relating to this theory. One of them were Alice Eisen's experiment. So Eisen had a group of physicians and she made some of them feel good by giving them a bag of candy. She then tested the reasoning of these physicians on the case of a patient with liver disease. In the end, their analysis revealed that the physicians who felt grateful for the candy were faster to gain case information and were also less likely to be discouraged by their initial thoughts or come to premature resistance. So those who were initially stimulated to feel positive emotions were more open-minded and were also more likely to perform better. So in a similar case was Barbara Fredrickson's research herself, where Fredrickson gathered a group of students and encouraged them to feel more optimistic by asking them to find positive meaning in their daily lives. And this was in a span of a month. And towards the end of this month, results showed that those who did participate in the activity did display an increase within their psychological resilience compared to those who didn't. So these were the two research along the many that were mentioned in the reading.
So we will now attempt to do an activity drawing upon Barbara Fredrickson's work. So we ask that the audience look at the following set of images and to pay attention to how your body reacts with each slide. So look at these images. Does anything resonate with you? How are you feeling? Do you have goosebumps? Is there a tightening in your throat? Is your heart beating faster than normal?
Now, take a look at these images. Do you notice any changes in your body? Have those goosebumps gone away? Are you still thinking about the images in the previous slides? Has your heart rate begun to come down?
Now have a look at these images. Does anything resonate with you? Does it bring up an event from the past? Are those goosebumps coming back? Or is there a tightening in your throat? Do you feel uncomfortable at all? Is your heart beating faster than normal?
Now take note of these images. Did you smile at any of these? Have you started to loosen up a bit? Do you remember the previous sad images, and is your body still and calm? Has your heartbeat slowed down? Do you feel any less tense?
So this was a similar experiment explored by Barbara Fredrickson, who tested how quickly our bodies can restore back to its natural state after being exposed to negative scenarios. In her study, those who were exposed to positive videos straight after being induced to negative ones returned to their baseline cardiovascular health quicker than those who were shown mundane videos that did not evoke any emotion at all. So we attempted to test this theory by using images to explore the recovery times of individuals who are exposed to 3 different emotions. Did you find it easier to return to your natural state after looking positive or after looking at neutral images after looking at a negative slide?
To summarize, we found that negative emotions are more distinct and identifiable than positive emotions. Scientists identified that negative emotions are more impactful on a person's psychology than positive emotions. We can see that individuals can be negatively biased, as historically it was a survival instinct of our ancestors to cope in life-threatening situations. The negative bias is also seen in organizations, as more often managers focus on constantly criticizing rather than having a greater emphasis on positive behaviors, negatively impacting an employee's psychological state and decreasing productivity. Despite negative bias, we discussed how positive emotions enhance cognitive functions. The broaden and build theory aided this knowledge by stating how positive emotions allow individuals to develop. Alice Eisen's and Barbara Fredrickson's research found both found that positive emotions enhanced an individual's performance through optimism. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Nice.